Special guest, Elbow, going to the Disco Spider. Disco Spider, what are you doing there? Disco Spider, you gotta go. Disco Spider. Disco Spider. He's Disco Ball. He's a spider. He likes to get down. I don't blame him. Ugh. Really got to see Judy. I know I say this all the time when I come in and I see this and then people are like, Sully, why are you so vain? Why do you have so many problems? Why are you such a mental person? Great question. Great question. Joey, good morning to you. How you doing? How's everything by you? Over by you, as some people say. What are we going to talk about today? Going to have some yogurt and berries. Super exciting. Let's see. I titled this as Questioning Some Life Decisions. Conspiracy series cleanup or winding down. QC. Stuff like that. Classes are going to be starting. This last part of the year, it's going to go really, really, really quick. Really quick. And I am really, I did a much better job last year in my NAMM preparations than I have this year. What I mean by that is last year, I'm as sure as I can be that I had everything that was going in the paint process by now. I have one thing that's going in the paint process right now. Now, the good thing is, since I am displaying in the boutique guitar showcase, I'm taking fewer guitars, which is nice. So it's nice for me. I imagine it's nice for everybody else. Good morning, Joe. I guess it's, there are some people. Catfish, good morning to you. Some folks might like to see a larger array of items like I used to do. But this is how I'm doing now at the Fancy Pants Boutique Guitar Showcase. I need to get some fancy pants for this next Boutique Guitar Showcase. I think that I should add that to the list. Find some fancy pants. Like some fun houndstooth pants. That'd be pretty fun. I do love houndstooth. I don't know why. I just like a black and white houndstooth or a silver. That'd be cool. Nobody knows why. Good morning, Ted. We like what we like. But yeah, I'll have to add fancy pants to the NAMM list of things that I need to have. So my plan is to take 5 guitars like I did last time. And I think we can do it, but like there's a part of me that's like, you might be able to say what you want to say with 4, but I got room on the table for 5. So I don't know. We'll see. I do know that. So one of the 3 is in the paint process. A couple of others, well, the remainders are in the woodwork process. Like the bodies are done. I need to complete the necks. I need to move those. You don't care about that, do you? This is like I'm just making a list of stuff I gotta do. Yeah. So things that I have to do today. I'm going to go to the shop for a little bit, and I got some stuff there to work on, as you might expect, because that's where I work on things. And someone's picking up one of their guitars today, so that's nice. It's one of the nice things about I like it when we have local customers. I don't have a ton, or maybe I have more than I think. I don't know. I was listening to this audiobook. I think it's called like Hell Yeah or Get Out of the Way or Hell Yeah or No or something like that. And it's I mean, it was $4, so I'm like, okay, this is fine. And the title reminded me of Kyle and some of his friends, because Kyle and one of his friends, specifically Alex, no one says hell yeah with as much conviction as Alex Kelly does. And it reminds me, a million years ago, my buddy Lama said, Sully, no one says fucking A with as much conviction as you. So like, I heard Alex say, oh, hell yeah, brother. And I'm like, oh, that came from like the shoes. You felt that. So I see this title, and it's, and it's kind of like a outlook on life kind of thing, whatever. And it's just a collection of blog posts that were written. And it was by the guy that founded CD Baby. He was bought out by CD's Nuts. Oh, it's not a funny joke. It's not a funny joke. But anyway, so I'm listening to this thing, and I forget what the point of this whole thing was. I completely forgot. Oh, now I remember. It was like local versus global thinking. And, there's, as far as businesses go, there are businesses that really focus on putting roots in the community in which they are in, and serving that community. And then there are people that kind of, maybe like people that have like online businesses. They're serving everywhere, not just they're thinking. You see what I'm saying? And I thought that was a part I was thinking about. I'm like, I do, I do have some clients here, which is great. I do have a network of people that I've met and I've become friends with, which is great, because it's important. But I don't really have a whole lot of as many local clients as maybe I would think, and maybe none of it. I mean, this doesn't matter. But my whole point was, it's been nice because some folks who are local came by to pick up their guitars this week, and it's always fun to do. And so I'm going to do that a little bit today. Someone's coming by to pick up their guitar, I don't know, in a few hours, which means, I should probably go and make sure it's in tune. I will, because I'm nice. And but yesterday, we've got everything packed up and shipping things out. And totally tweaked my back yesterday, which is not great, but I'm doing okay. So that's good. So things are going out to dealers, and think about it. We have a new dealer in Canada, which I'm really happy about. And so this go around, we're sending guitars to Canada, which is nice. We're sending guitars to, one's going to Australia, which is fun. Sent my first guitar to France yesterday, which is, oh la 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 la. And so that's fun. And it's kind of, when I was making these shipping labels, custom forms and things like that, like, I was thinking about that little book, and isn't that a cool story? I don't really know, but yeah, it is kind of funny when thinking about this whole local versus global kind of thing. And I was talking to Disco Spider about it, right? Remember this? Yeah, he's like, dude, you wouldn't shut up about it. But like, when I went and saw Striper last weekend, no, 2 weeks ago, right? Maybe 2 weeks ago. I don't know. I have no concept of time. Met some people, and they're like, "Oh, you're in Dallas. You're in the Dallas area." I'm like, "Well, yeah, ish." Oh, I've never heard of you. I'm like, "That's okay." But, to be fair, I've never heard of you either until this very exciting moment. But yeah, there's no point there. So I'm very far behind with the NAMM stuff. There are one of the things. So this last boutique guitar showcase, my first showing there, I wanted to have the guitars be a nice reflection of like the things that we do. There were things that were pointy. There were things that had pretty tops. There were some sullied models. I think it was a nice kind of thing. But the funny thing is, for a guy that says make it fucking sparkle so much that it's on stickers, I didn't have anything that sparkled. And it's okay. It's one of those things where it's like, well, I have to condense this, and I wanted to have a nice, here's what we do. And I'm thinking about this way more than necessary, which doesn't happen often. But because like nobody really cares, right? Nobody's gonna go, oh well, he's got some. I wonder if he does that. People don't generally do that. They walk in and they're like, oh yeah, that one's pink and purple, and oh yeah, that's kind of cool. Or this one makes me think of Robert Crosby, and oh, that one's pointy, and oh, what a nice top, and that's fine. And then they keep walking, or they say hello if they're nice people and want to talk to me. So yes, this is product placement, cups. So as I was thinking about that, I've made some. The plan for this year is, it's kind of like the Met Gala, because it's kind of like, here's the theme. And so I think my theme for this go round is like permission. And not me not asking your permission, it's you giving yourself permission to maybe, it's like my buddy Catfish. When we were teenagers, he had a few pairs of like pink Chuck Taylors. And I don't know if we talked about this at the time or whatever, but it was something that kind of stuck with me, because it's like, you're a teenager. At that particular time, it's a gutsy move to wear some super bright pink Converse Chuck Taylors. And it's weird that we live in a world, or at least we did live in a world, where that was kind of like, and we still do. It's not, I hear examples of this all the time. But it's like, if you want to wear pink shoes, wear pink fucking shoes. It's fine. If someone has a problem with your pink shoes, that's their problem. And it's easy for me to say that. Oh, it's, if someone has a problem with what you do, yeah, it's probably their problem. It's not about you. And that is true. What people think of me is none of my business. I need to try and I'm sure we all need to probably adopt that a little bit. But it is true. So it's like the whole, Catfish gave himself permission. Oh, I can wear some pink shoes. And if, you know what? It was fine. You know who would compliment him on shoes? Ladies. And other people who were cool. And so, oh wait, hang on, we've got some comments coming in. It was the 80s, man. Dayglow was everywhere. Dayglow wasn't everywhere until much later. I think people in the 80s, when they think of the 80s, they forget how brown everything was for a very long time. But yes, pink is A-okay. Absolutely. 1,000% pink is A-okay. But, we think of a guy like Rodrigo, who, I'm looking at a picture of him right there. He's got, sparkle pink Raven, and that thing is bitchin'. And, there's a lot of people that are like, oh man, I don't think I could pull off a pink sparkle guitar. I'm like, what's your problem? Of course you can. You just have to decide that you can. You have to give yourself permission to be a little bit extra. It's kind of like, one of the nicest things that someone has said about what I'm trying to do, and I've stolen this because it was a good way to capture it, is the whole permission thing. Almost. It's a little different. And granted, this one is a little more traditionally looking. But, you put something like that on, or like if you have a cool, fast car, and you just, you give yourself the permission to be a little extra. So, that is something that I'm going to try and communicate with at least a few of the guitars that I'm planning on bringing. Yeah. So within that, there are going to be. So one, I'm not bringing out any like new models. So they're not going to be, here's a new body shape or anything like that. I'm still getting, I have to get the Astro kind of out and circulated, and that's probably going to take a couple of years, maybe. I mean, unless we do a few like conspiracy series runs, which is entirely possible. But anyway, I can't keep coming out with something like with a new model, because there are like millions of people. I mean, literally, there are millions of people. There are many, many people who don't even know what our core models are right now. One of the things that we like to post from time to time are like engagement-related questions, and specifically like, if you could design something, what would it be? And some of it is, I just want to get people. We just want to get people talking, and I don't ever expect to get like, oh yeah, that'd be kind of cool. It happens from time to time, which is great. But the whole point of it is really just to kind of talk to people and see what's on the people's minds, kind of like what I'm doing now. And someone was like, oh, I'd love to see like a Kelly or an Explorer style kind of thing with like controls moved out of the way and like maybe a reverse headstock. Maybe I'm imagining the reverse headstock, but I'm like, my man, have you not seen an Alita? You clearly have not. Anyway, so that's my whole point. So we won't have any new models, but there are going to be. Well, like, okay, so one guitar that's going to be there, you've seen that is the neck through one humbucker Floyd Concord. That is going. Hi, Floyd Concord. Nice to meet you. That is going to be there. There are there are two. There's one other one is something that I've wanted to do for over a decade. Engineering wise, I didn't really have the answer to how to do it, and I think I figured it out. And so it's going to be like total like niche on niche on niche. But I think a lot of the stuff that I do is, which I think is, I think it's good, but it's also to my detriment because, niche on niche on niche isn't a great business model unless you have found your market for said niche, which I have somewhat, but I need to expand that market. So, but yeah, permission. Give yourself permission to play the guitar that might look a little bit different, might have colors that are different for you, and might make, oh, I could never pull that off. I'm like, oh man. I'm sure, and this isn't like a, oh, I believe in me, because like whatever. I don't know. There are certain things where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm never gonna be able to do that. But like, I don't know. I think that like, I don't know. I've kind of lost my point. But like, I would like to, if there were things that we could normalize uh, in the world as it relates to the guitar buying industry, I'd like to normalize the okayness of, maybe playing a pink sparkly guitar. I would also love, so like guitar pet peeves. I know you're gonna think I'm gonna go, oh, pigs, pig. This is evident in like a million other industries. Usually like luxury items, or like, things that you clearly don't need. You don't need like to buy a whole bunch of, you do need to buy a whole bunch of Sully guitars. Please do that. Please do that. But blaming the wife for why you can't do something, is one of those like, so you ever get like, you ever get like a bad handshake, you kind of go in, and I'm not a death grip handshake person, but like, I'm also not just gonna slap my palm in there, because then it's just like, ugh, and it's just that's kind of like a conversational, that's how I feel when someone says, oh man, I'd love to buy one of those, but I'd never get it past the wife. Well, maybe you should marry better. I said it. And I know that women have the same thing, like, oh my God, I can't buy these shoes or this purse because my husband would be so mad. Now, let me go back just a little teeny tiny bit. If you are financially irresponsible to the point where like your utilities are being disconnected because you're spending money on accessories, that's a problem, and someone should be mad at you for that. But like, if you like, everything's taken care of for it, maybe you got a little emergency money, in case something bad happens, and then like, maybe you want to buy a fucking guitar, or maybe you want to buy a purse, maybe you want to buy some fun shoes. That shouldn't be a problem. Like, that should not be a problem whatsoever. It shouldn't. It just shouldn't. So those are two things that I would love to. I would love to stop that whole conversation, because it's like, it's another one of those things where it's like, when people talk about man caves, it just makes my skin crawl, because it's like, and you see these on like design shows and stuff like that, or maybe you don't anymore. I hope not, because it's just so. Ugh. It's like, oh, well, my wife she did the whole thing, and then like, I get this room and I can do whatever I want in it. And like, I think that's sad. I think that while people definitely can be a happy couple and have different tastes on like home decor and things like that, it just seems like a weird thing. Like, oh, I can't put this out in the living room because my wife will kill me. It's like, you married your mother. I'm going way too far with this. This is like, what are we doing? But like, it is kind of a weird, it's a thing that's very strange to me. Yeah. And granted, when you come over, you won't see guitars throughout the house. There'll be some in this room and there'll be some in the front room. But that's my choice because, like, Mrs. Sully is always like, "Do you want to just like have a guitar out here?" I'm like, "No. Like they're everywhere I go." So like, no, I don't need to do that. So anyway, yeah, and no one should have Bixby's. Let's see. Yes, Rodrigo knows. That's fair. It was brown. Yes. You wish you started Dayglow. But anyway, so let's see. I did talk about questionable life decisions. This was something that went very quickly and went by in a minute. As of October 1st, I had been doing this full time for 10 years. That's kind of crazy. That is kind of crazy, right? I remember when Perry helped me make the jump mentally, because it was one of those things where, oh, okay, cool. Thank you, Joe. See now the comments are back. I think I lost some people with the wife thing. But think about it. And this isn't like now I'm not saying where you should go, "Oh, I'm a man. I spend money on whatever I want to." I mean, don't blow up your personal relationships. But let's also think about our personal relationships. And like, maybe instead of creating a scapegoat of like, "The wife will kill me," she probably won't. Or maybe she will. I don't know. I don't know your life. But I think it's just like a clever out. And maybe I should just stop listening to people when they say that. I mean, I do stop listening to people when they say that. So I'll just stop. Yeah. I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, it's a weird thing it's a really weird thing to me. Anyway. So 10 years ago, remember Perry helped me make the jump mentally on how you can kind of, make it work. And Disco Spider's leg broke. Disco Spider's leg broke, but it's I have an ultimate set of tools. I can fix it.
You can fix Disco Spider?
Yeah, I can fix Disco Spider.
Disco Spider?
Yeah.
Was he just sitting there?
Well, I picked him up and then his
Poor Disco Spider.
I mean, like most things, it's my fault. But remember, kids, to sully is to ruin. But it made that jump, and I remember chatting with Mrs. Sully about it, and I'm like, "Here's what I'm thinking," and she's like, "Oh yeah, well then you should." I'm like, "Okay," and my the whole point of it, well, not the whole point of it, but part of the thing to help move things along were to do classes, and throughout 2014, I had been doing classes on the weekends. It's like make a body class, which is like a 2-day thing, or a neck class, which would be like a 3-day thing. A lot of people were, and even then, were traveling from different states just to do that sort of thing, or traveling from distances to do that sort of thing. And that's another thing. Like, so many people would be like, "Oh man, if you were close by, I'd totally do that." Dude, the overwhelming majority of people travel for this. So like, anyway, think about it. But a lot of people would be like, "Well, no offense, but like if I'm going to come out there, I don't want to just make a body," and that's totally fair. But I didn't have the vacation time for that sort of thing. And so I decided that I was going to schedule a bunch of classes, and if people signed up for them, I was going to schedule like weekly, week long build classes. And if people signed up for them, then I have to quit my job. And that's what happened. All of the classes that I booked, it was maybe like a few months worth of classes. It all sold out pretty much like within a weekend. And now, we're not talking, we're doing this in the garage with like 2 people at once. So it's not like an overwhelming, 400 people signed up. It wasn't anything silly like that, but it was enough. And one of the things that I hope that I've shown is that you just have to like do what you can with what you have and keep moving forward. And you can spend so much time on something and fixating on something and like, oh, I can't get this out until I can't, release this design until it's like 1,000% perfect. And that's bullshit. You just got, some people are like that. I am not. You just got to just make the thing, just get it out there, live with it, see, and then, refine as you go. So it was, that's how I made the jump. And, I'm very well aware that one of the things that, no, we don't want to do that. One of the things that made this easier to make that jump was the fact that Mrs. Sully is self-employed. She's always been self-employed since I've known her. And so she, she can relate. And I remember the first few months when, I'd be working in the garage and she'd, come home from, she's done with lessons. She comes home, she's got a break in the afternoon and she kind of check in, like, how you doing? Because, I'm used to, I woke up 2 weeks later and there's no direct deposit. Why not? I have to call Kathy in accounting or payroll. And Kathy in payroll said, hey girl, you got to sand because that's where your direct deposit is. I'm like, oh, okay, thanks. But there were times when she'd come home and I would be like, what have I done? She's like, you're all right. It's going to be just keep working on your stuff. You've got a guitar to make, so make that guitar. I'm like, okay. But yeah, it's been 10 years. That's interesting. I don't know. I didn't have any expectations of, I didn't know what to expect really. And I still don't. Well, I don't know. But 10 years. That's pretty cool. What else? Conspiracy series QC. Winding down. Like everything, I think there's maybe like a handful odds and ends that I need to kind of get. Oh, classes. So like with all of this that's going on there, someone had reached out who is local and they're like, I really want to take a class the week of the 14th. And I'm like, dude, there's so much going. I don't know. Like, since you're local, can we like maybe just do a couple days and just kind of break this up? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, we'll make it work. So we're gonna make it work. But I got 2 classes in November, and I'm thinking of all of this woodwork that needs to be done, and a fair amount of it is stuff that I have to do. But we'll get it done, and it'll be fine. Because like worst case scenario, I bring 4 guitars to NAMM. is anyone really going to care? Probably not. No. So, yeah, so we got 2 classes in November. And so like the rest of this October, like I gotta haul ass and get stuff moved forward, and I will, because we got a show to put on, people. Yeah, so the conspiracy series stuff, I know we've got, so like I said earlier, some of the dealer orders have shipped out. That's good. Other dealer orders will ship out as soon as other dealer orders will ship out soon, I imagine. Of course they will. And we got all of the pre-ordered Ravens and Trellas, they all have shipping labels on them. So like I'm reaching out because, we don't charge shipping until like the end. Although there are some times like on the website, like somebody will accidentally pay the shipping in advance, but that's fine. So obviously, of course, they don't have to pay it because they've already paid it, and that's just fine. But we'll get the rest of them out, I want to say like by Wednesday. So that's good. And yeah, that's good. And then, I've got like extras of stuff, and I don't know when I'm going to get to QCing them, but I think like maybe we'll try and make some available in November. I know that we're going to have some, scratch and dent stuff, that sort of thing. We might make some of that available in November. I don't know. We'll see. There's a lot to do. It's like that song. Got a long way to go in a short time to get there. Yeah. What else? I think that's all I got. It's a lot. Wow. I thought I yammered on for a lot longer than I have. Oh no, we thought it was a long time too. Anybody have any questions? I would like to do more of the like, especially like for the YouTube side of things, because we stream this out to YouTube and like nobody watches, and it's 1,000,000% fine. But one of the things that I would like to maybe start doing is like, if someone has a specific question, let me just answer it. Let's do a Q&A thing, as opposed to me just eating breakfast, drinking coffee, and then just yammering on about stuff. Dave, I don't give out numbers because it doesn't matter, but the mailing label is on your shipping box, and I am very happy about that. I think that my basic answer, or my standard answer, to how many would you say? Well, like Mr. Burns said, I would trade it all for a little more. What? I would. I don't mean that to be as nefarious. I don't even know if it sounds nefarious, but would you trade it all for a little more? I don't know, maybe. Also, I don't really know what trading it all means, but whatever. Mm-hmm. We are going to have another batch of, there's a batch of conspiracy series guitars that are available to pre-order right now. Actually, all that's left from what can be pre-ordered is the Stardust Deluxe, which I'm really surprised. We've moved some, which is good. I thought that would be a little bit bigger than it has been so far. But it's also probably one of those things where, like, once we get them and we post photos of them, the extras are going to sell. So that's good. It's really tough for me at least, to figure out what, you, the buying public, are gonna say, "Shut up and take my money" for. Because the things that I think that are like really cool, well, they are really cool because I think they are. But sometimes, it's this thing. I know people have mentioned, like, can we just have like some 624s and like a white or a black or like a red? Sure. My experience, though, thus far has been like, it's been really tough for me to sell a black guitar, which seems crazy. But who knows? Maybe that'll change. I would. There's a white 624 that comes to mind that had like hollow blocks and black binding and stuff, and a Floyd. I was thinking, that would be that would be neat. I don't know. We don't really do hollow blocks on 624s, but I don't necessarily associate those two things together. But we did it once, and pretty rad looking guitar. So who knows? Hey, Jeff. I think that's really all I got. Can't really think of any other. Oh, Beto, I can't. Good morning to you. Or morning. It's like, is a cow on your computer? Morning. They're not saying boo, they're saying boo earns. Yeah. Yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got. People, Michael Sweet related. People have been asking about, if we're going to do an Alita in the conspiracy series like his new one. I'm working on it. It's anytime we do the decal stuff, which has been all of the Michael signatures and stuff, anything with a graphic, it's decals, and it's an extra wrinkle of it's another factor that we have to factor in. It's like when we did the tiger stripe Alitas. Like you gotta buy like those decals, like you gotta buy like a lot, and they're expensive. I mean, it all adds up, and yeah. So like if you can't do large numbers of something, and large numbers of something is relative, but it's just another factor that has to be well factored in. I know that we won't do the front and back of the body like we did on Michael's guitar, and that's fine. But like the other thing too is like so like the Supernova that we did. The Supernova that we did in a previous run, so the Black Limbo one with the Floyd, that's got like a scallop in the cutaway, and when we made Michael's Supernova, we did flat top body, and when I'm talking about that with the factory, they're like, well, okay, the last Supernova we did had this little scallop, so we think we should make it flat. I'm like, yes, absolutely. The guitar that we're emulating is flat. That's totally cool, but his Alita is not flat. That his Alita does have a little scallop in the cutaway, and there is a bevel at the back end of the body. Neither of these things enhance the playability of the guitar. It is purely just design embellishments, because they're just design embellishments. So like if we do that version of an Alita, the entire top's got to be flat, and I think and it's like I'm sourcing decal options and stuff like that, and we'll see. But yeah, so I mean, it's just a process. So it's just lots of things to think about. So I would like to do that. Because, well, why wouldn't I? I think I may also in the future like to do another Revolution signature that has the stripe pattern more like how it came out on Michael's guitar. The one signature, the Revolution signature that we did with the thinner stripes, that's how I designed it. But the when Michael's was made, we made some decision choices, some design choices. It was in really just to like let's just tape it off and let's just spray it. Like, does this look okay? I'm like, yes, that looks fine. And so we went forward. But it was so we do have two versions. So I think it might be kind of cool to do in the future another version that has the stripe pattern like the one that he has, and we can add binding like his does. I don't know. Again, we'll see. That Alita is badass. Thank you. Any Alita is badass. That's just a cool as hell guitar. We should do a cowskin one, like like the one that we. That would be kind of fun. That would be fun. Now, I don't. I'm sure that in the videos that we have, the video footage that we have remaining of that guitar from when we were teenagers, I'm sure I could kind of like replicate the pattern. Like if I take some screenshots, talk about niche on niche on niche. I don't know that we're going to find. That would be fun. That would be a lot of fun. Anyway. Maybe how the guitar looks more angular and aggressive compared to the red one, for example, just because of the pattern. The red one. The red one? Compared to the red one. Red one. I don't know. Are we talking about the Revolution? Yes. Yeah, it is definitely just because of the pattern. Because it's the same. It is for sure the same body shape. Yeah, that would be fun. Catfish's cowskin. For those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, when I don't know, we're 17-ish. Catfish had an Arbor Explorer that he sanded back to wood, not once, but twice. And when I say he disassembled this guitar, like if I didn't know better, I would call this like you were up for a weekend on crystal meth, because this is like he sanded everything down, and like not only did he remove the pickups, he took the pickups apart. Bobbin off, wire cut. Like everything was disassembled. Everything. That is like grinding your jaw for a week. That's you're in the bathroom till 5, 6 in the morning solving the world's problem. That was that kind of energy. But I put those pickups together. I have no idea how, but I did, and it worked. But anyway. So like the first time I painted that guitar in, it was white and he wanted a stripe pattern. And so I did silver stripes, and then he sanded it all down again. And I think he's like, I want a cowskin, because Kelly Nichols of LA Guns had like a cowskin Warlock bass. And I think I know we both dug that for whatever reason, just because it's, everybody's got tiger stripes and leopard spots, and like, Yeah, I want cow print. I mean, that's just fun. Um, and you think you can do that? Of course I can do that. Um, and so we did it. It was a lot of masking, and we filmed it while his parents were on vacation. I spray painted this thing in the basement of their home. We had like sheets hung from the ceiling, and yeah, spray painted it in a house. And we filmed it, and and I've told this story a million times, so like I'm sure you all know this, but you know, God, I remember one time we ran out of spray paint, so like we walked to the Kmart that was like, I don't know, a mile or so away from his house, and we bought. I remember it was like Dutch Boy brand spray paint, and we finished the job. It was so much masking because like I made that pattern wrap, like it wrapped around the entire body. I think down the back of the neck. I want to say I remember that the headstock face was black, but like it was a lot. I remember being at my house like with masking tape, like just laying the stuff down. Um, yeah, I did. We shot it black first, and then yeah, I masked everything off. Pretty sure we shot it black first. That seems right. Um, and so this was at the time when camcorder tape. That's not necessarily. It's a limited commodity. You only have so much of it, and so I know that it got recorded over after a while, but or maybe no, it was he put it on a VHS tape, and then it was like the master tape, and then some of it got taped over because like Headbangers Ball was on. So there is little bits of it left. It is probably still on my YouTube channel. Yeah, but yeah, that would be fun to do like an Alita with a cow skin graphic. But I don't know that. We'd have to get a lot of people to sign off on that to make it happen. But anyway, it's a fun story. Any hoozle, I'm gonna go. We're all gonna get on with our day. And perfecto. Finally woke up early enough to catch this. And now it's almost over. Perfecto, do you have any questions? Is there anything you would like me to talk about? Did you have a nice time in Germany? I bet you did. All right. Well, I'm going to leave the floor open to questions for just a moment here. And then I'm going to get in the car. I'm going to take my buddy Disco Spider, and we're going to fix his broken leg. And he's going to be back as good as he ever possibly could be. Just like that. Yeah, totally not safe work environment. Yeah, we're huffing fumes, man. Woo. So, all right. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I hope you have a lovely day. You have an idea for the green screen guitar? Nice. Well, message me later. Yeah. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get some more coffee. I'd say you've had enough, and I hope you have a nice day. I hope that everyone is nice to you. And I hope that you're nice to everyone else. And let's all work together to end the whole like statements of, oh man, I totally buy that, but life will kill me. Because that's how everybody says it. Anyway, whatever. I'll talk to you later.